Welcome to today's episode of Two Pigs in the Pod, a podcast for the people of Glazing by the people of Glazing. I'm George Lewis, editor at the People in Glazing Society, or more commonly known as PiGs, and I'll be your host today. Today's guests, we have Andrew Charlesworth and Hayley Charlesworth. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello.
Thank you very much for having us.
No problem at all. So we'll jump straight into it with the first question. So for those that don't know who you are, Andrew, can you go first and say a bit about you and your career?
Yeah, so I'm Andrew Charlesworth. I work for the Profine Group, or better known as Comling in the UK. I'm the global director for warm core or hybrid systems. So I travel basically globally for this position, and I set up new subsidiaries with hybrid systems across the globe.
Okay. And Hayley, same for you?
Hi, I'm Hayley. I'm Andrew's wife, but I'm also founder of a charity called Harry's Pals, and we provide emotional support to parents that have just received a diagnosis that their child has a severe illness or disability.
Okay. And Andrew, yes, so you say obviously you're within our industry. So yeah, the question we always ask is why did you get into the industry?
Purely by accident, I know a lot of people say this. I think I was 18 and a half, 19, almost 19. When I joined the industry, I was kicked out of the Navy. I was in the Royal Navy, and I was dismissed. Basically for I was an air engineer mechanic, and at that age, I drank a lot. I was turning up to work very intoxicated, and they turned around and said, "Look, you're fixing Sea Harriers. You can't be like this." So it went on for some time. They said, "Look," I was dismissed eventually. But yeah, I was loving life, and that was what it was at the time.
Yeah, that age is normal.
Yeah. But that, obviously, you grow up and you learn. But yeah, so I just went to an agency, said, "Look, I want to make some money. I want to then go traveling and see the world." I ended up getting I was offered a role at Epwin Group as an R&D technician, and that was it. I started there, and then 26 years later, this is where I am now. So I've worked for quite a few companies within the organisation, but yeah, it's this is how I stumbled across glazing.
So I think stumble is a good word. I think that's it.
Yeah.
We hear quite often on this podcast and general conversations is no one really aims to get into the industry, but somehow
once you're so deep into it, it's very difficult to leave, and that's where I am now.
Yeah. So when you went to that agency and you said, I want it, and they gave you they said about Epwin, did you know anything when they first said that to you? What did you know about glazing at first?
Nothing whatsoever. This was it was new when I actually went in there, and I actually started in the test labs, and I just thought it was a piece of plastic in a hole. That was it. I didn't know how it was fabricated. I didn't know the depth and the technology that actually goes into the products. So it was quite an eye opener for me. Going from obviously I was an engineer in the Navy as well, so it's quite obviously aero engineering. So it was very high tech stuff. But then going to the PVC world, obviously it's a lot more lower tech, but the amount of technology and the development that we all do to go into our products is outstanding, and it is a great industry to get into.
Yeah, and Hayley, when Andrew was saying about working in the glazing industry, what was the first conversations like? Did you know anything about it? Did you know what he would be doing and what he's done in his career now?
If I'm really honest, I don't fully understand it now, to be honest. I've got a bit of an interest, but it's a bit over my head, to be honest.
So it's like from an outsider looking in, from an outsider looking in terms of someone that's on the outside, which we have obviously many people. What's the conversations you have? Are they of any interest to you? Do you think there is actually some interest in on the engineering and sort of production side of things? That
I suppose there's a lot more goes into it than you realise. It's a bit of glass in the frame, and there's your window. And I suppose over the years I've kind of painstakingly learned more about it, and extrusion and fabrication and all these things which I wasn't aware of, and things like testing and making sure that the windows are fit for the elements in different countries and things. So surprise myself sometimes. I become quite interested in it.
Yeah,
there's a lot
yeah,
to it,
after all those years of the information, it just kind of gets in, doesn't it? Like us in the industry, it's just like once it gets in, you can't get out, and it's same for the information going in. You learn it by accident, really.
Yeah, you start looking at doors and windows in different ways, appreciating them a little bit more.
Yeah, there's a role for you in the industry, so I can smell it, I can feel it.
I'm not sure about that.
And Andrew, when you first started in the industry, obviously it's changed a lot over the years, but what was it like at the time that you started, and how that's changed over the years?
Yeah, so back in '98, so basically it was after the boom of obviously white gold era and all that sort of stuff, which I wasn't part of, but obviously there was a lot more, I'd say, flamboyance around the industry as well.
Yeah,
there was a lot more money around at that time. I believe now it's a lot more professional. I think it's a very much they are very professional businesses now that we run and our customers run. Going forward, obviously, it's all about obviously making profit. Everyone needs to make profit to continue. Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of over the last 12 months and through my career, we've seen a lot of extrusion companies, a lot of fabricators fall aside. And it's purely down to we need to make money. We all need to make a little bit to continue. I think that's where we need to be. But yeah, it's been a huge change. I remember my first Glasex, going there and walking in. I was like, God, I didn't realize how big this industry was until I walked in there. Obviously, that obviously fell aside, and then we have the Fit Show. But yeah, obviously, I was quite heavily involved at Fensterbow this year, and that is just outstanding. It's
next level, isn't it?
Huge show. It's quite an eye-opener when you actually go there and fully understand how big this industry from a global point. I'm quite fortunate now to actually start traveling around the globe and actually fully seeing the potential that we have within the glazing industry all over the world. All the way from I've been to Chile, and later this year I'll be in China for the Bow China exhibition, and that will just be, I'm sure it'll be absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that.
How does the industry differ? I'm sure there's lots of different ways that you can go on like between country and country, but like generally, how does the UK glazing industry look from abroad?
Sorry, it's totally different. And to be honest, it's a good different. What we produce here on our shores are totally different windows to pretty much the rest of the world. There's only a few countries that have adopted our way of fabricating windows. To that point, it protects us. It keeps the industry strong. It stops the likes of Eastern European countries coming in and then and stealing the business. So where I deal a lot now on the European base and making sure that we don't get the likes of the Eastern European countries like Poland, Serbia, Romania coming in and undercutting the rest of Europe because their costs are so low and they're manufacturing the same products. So we are very unique in that sense.
Okay. And Hayley, to go off a bit about glazing, obviously you will talk about Harry's Pals later in the podcast, but what's the career that you've had? You've obviously had it in marketing, but can you explain what you've done throughout your career before Harry's Pals?
So I got a degree in marketing. I was a marketing consultant, and I worked with small organisations to basically put together marketing strategies and help them sort of raise awareness of their businesses and social media campaigns and things like that. So that was kind of what I was involved in before Harry's Pals. And yeah, it's something that I'm sort of still utilising.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you taken a lot of what you've learnt from that career into this new one?
Yeah, I mean, running a charity, obviously it's a business, and you're always going to need some sort of kind of marketing. So yeah, social media strategies and website design and PR and writing press releases, they all lend themselves very well to charity work. So I haven't had to pay up for anyone to do the marketing.
You got the skills already.
Yeah.
And Andrew, obviously, we'll speak about Harry's Pals and the charity fundraising you're doing for that. But yeah, you're one of the now 16 that are doing the climbing Kilimanjaro in September. So what made you decide to do this? It's a big old thing to do.
Yeah. Basically, I was when I took on this role, I wasn't in this position, so I was technical director for Profine or Comling UK. So yeah, I had this drive to want to do something different. I'm now 43. I thought this was a good opportunity. I could get fit as well, and actually do something good. I've seen a lot of charity events through my time in the industry, and they all look absolutely fantastic. And I just want to make memories. Obviously, it's all great. We work hard and stuff like that. But you want to, when I lie on my deathbed, I want to be able to remember some good things.
Yeah.
And I think this is just a great opportunity, and to meet new people within the industry as well. I'm sure we'll be spending so much time together. We'll get to know each other in so much details, very, very well.
Too much detail, maybe.
Yeah, probably too much detail. And but yeah, I think when I first met the team, when we did the Scarfell Pike, it was absolutely fantastic. The team and the people in there, the dynamics. I think when people are feeling low, and we all will feel low at some point, there's definitely going to be the team mentality around us to pick each other up and to push forward.
Yeah, and when we record in this episode, we're a couple months out from, or just over a couple months out from you actually starting the journey. Really, like how are you currently feeling about it?
Currently, I'm suffering. I've got a chest infection, so currently
not ideal.
I feel quite run down. But yeah, which has impacted my my training. Although I am doing the Yorkshire Three Peaks this weekend, so I'm doing that with the patron from Harry's Pals. So he's taken the challenge as well. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be really tough. It's 25 miles over 3 peaks, and the challenge is to do it within 12 hours. That's a challenge. Although I'm not feeling 100%, I still feel really committed, and I'll try my damnedest to do it.
Yeah. And Hayley, when Andrew first said he was going to be doing this, what was your first thoughts?
I thought he was mad, but I was also pleased because Andy is raising money for 2 very worthy charities, Kelly's Heroes and Harry's Pals. And I know the difference it's going to make for Harry's Pals, and I'm sure it's going to make a huge difference to Kelly's Heroes as well. Practically it's brilliant, and it's great to get the funding in. As Andy's wife, I'm a little bit anxious if I'm honest. It is no mean feat. It's climbing the largest mountain in Africa. The altitude, I think, is going to be massive. It's a huge challenge. So yeah, I just hope that lots of people sponsor him, because it's it's not to be underestimated what they're actually going to be going through in September.
Yeah, and you obviously mentioned a little bit about Harry's Pals. So you're the main person for it. So can you explain what it is and why it was set up in the first place?
So Andy and I have got a 9-year-old son, Harry, and when we found Harry has got very significant needs. He's got quadriplegic cerebral palsy. He is cognitively around the age of a 3-month-old. He's tube fed. He has no functional use of his arms and legs. He is grade 5 cerebral palsy, and as a result of that, he needs round-the-clock care.
Yeah.
When we received Harry's diagnosis, so basically he had strokes when he was born, which left him with significant brain damage. I was really surprised that there was no support for parents. So you're given this news that your child, is always going to need care for the rest of their life. You don't know how long they're going to live for. It's heartbreaking stuff, and you just sort of told, professionals will come and see the child, but as parents, you're just expected to go home and get on with it. And I felt was really shocking, to be honest. I thought, how are you supposed to look after a child with very complex needs, providing care for them round the clock, and having no support for yourself?
Yeah,
it's emotionally, physically and practically really, really tough. We tried to find charities or any support that would be able to help us in terms of having somebody to talk to, somebody to hold our hand a little bit, and there wasn't anyone, and there still isn't really anyone offering the type of support that we're providing. So back in 2022, I set up Harry's Pals to bridge this gap in support that is impacting thousands of families across the country. And to do that, we provide counselling and therapy that is bespoke to meet the needs of the families. And we also offer short breaks away so that families are having the opportunities, because many don't, because of the cost of living crisis, etc., to actually get away and make memories whilst they can. And we work with hospices and hospitals and other charities so they can refer families to us. We're a small charity, so big events like this Kilimanjaro and being able to raise awareness makes such a difference. So that's Harry's Pals. That's what we're doing.
And we spoke off air, but is there any way that people listening and people that are watching this that can actually help and want to fundraise for Harry's Pals? How would they go about doing that?
Absolutely. If anyone is in a position to help, like I said, we're a small charity offering a unique service. We're trying to, we don't want to say no to any families coming forwards, and there's lots of them coming forwards. So if anyone would like to support, then please, have a look on our website, harryspals.org, and get in touch with me. We're always looking for corporate partners, anybody that can help us raise events, maybe organise events themselves, or maybe they just want to make a charity of the year. And we've got packages to for organisations to be able to help. So please do have a look for us online.
Perfect. And Andrew, obviously, like you said, you're fundraising for Harry's Pals and Kelly's Heroes. How important are those both to you personally?
Well, I think both charities work very well together. They're both very local to us in the Northamptonshire area. They are basically, mental health is at the forefront of everyone's mind at the moment, which is great. I remember years ago, you have a stiff upper lip, and that you just get on with it. I think now it's really good that people talk. It's really great that people support each other, and we know from personal experience how hard it is raising a child. And obviously, there's fortunate cases where people take their own lives, and that's where Kelly's Heroes tried to prevent that. It's so difficult, even in our situation, raising a child. But for young people nowadays, there's so much pressure. There's no release really from social media. There's always someone can can get into your life. There's no real, like when I was a child, there was no social media, there was no phones, there was nothing. If you had a bad day at school, you didn't have to worry about it to the next day. But I think now with young kids coming in, I think the Kelly's Heroes thing is fantastic. Harry's Pals is just a very close to my heart. Obviously named after my son. And it's such a great charity. Seeing the work that has been done and the families that have been supported is just outstanding. It's really heartwarming. I've obviously set up a page on Just Giving, where you can actually look up myself, Andrew Charlesworth Kilimanjaro, and you will find it on Just Giving. So if you feel you can donate whatever you can afford, that would be fantastic. I've set quite a high target personally, and I'm overwhelmed by the corporate support I've had so far. It's been absolutely fantastic. Pretty much everyone I've approached has responded either by donating or saying, I'm sorry, I've already sponsored someone else in the group.
Yeah.
But it's all been so positive. I think this industry is such a charitable industry. They always dig deep. They always support everyone.
Yeah.
And it's to be honest, it's heartwarming. It really is.
It's one of the things that amazes me the most, that there's so much charitable things going on throughout the industry. And it can be 10, it can be 100, but people are always willing to step up and give money for loads of people. So it's just amazing, and I think it's something that surprisingly is not covered that much. Really, there's a bit of it, but it could not the sheer amount is just mind blowing.
It is, yeah. So my target is I've personally set my target for 10,000 to raise. So it'll be split equally. So that will be, if I hit my target, it'll be 5,000 for each charity.
Yeah.
I'm the only one doing anything for Harry's Pals. There's another couple of people that have split their charitable donations, but most of it's going towards Kelly's Heroes. So if you feel you'd like to support me, then please do so.
Yeah. And Hayley, that £5,000, hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully we'll get more. But what will that money go towards? How will that help Harry's Pals in the coming months and years?
I think the great thing about Harry's Pals, in a way, is that we're such a small charity with really quite small overheads. So £5,000 to us can make a massive amount of difference. Potentially can send 10 families on holiday, or it can provide counselling sessions for 15 families, which really can makes a life-changing difference. We see families all the time that are coming to Harry's Pals really kind of at the end of their tether. They're at the brink of families falling apart, relationships. You can only imagine the strain that being given news that you've got a child with a life-limiting or a life-threatening condition has. So to be able to take that call and then see it through, and then the end result being that the person's more resilient, stronger, and more able to cope with any more bumps in the road is huge. So £5,000, that could change the lives of a lot of families. It's amazing, and I'll be cheering him on from the bottom of the mountain.
But yeah, I'd just like to add to what Hayley said. The amount of families that have got severely ill children that actually separate because of the pressures and the strains that it comes on, it's extremely high. It's over 80% of families that actually separate. So this, even if it's a case of we can keep one family together because they're supported correctly, that's just a huge benefit. And because we've unfortunately we really pushed, we tried hard, we found the right people, and that's why we're together sat here today. If we didn't find that, I don't think we would have come through
But
this.
support for parent carers is just not available, and families are falling apart. Children in some cases are having to leave family homes because parents are unable to cope. Parents are existing; they're not living, and I think that with looking after your mental health plays a huge part in how much you are able to give back to the rest of your family, to the child that you're caring for. And it's hugely underestimated, and parents are not provided with the support for the huge day in, day out, hour by hour task that they're facing. So yeah.
Was that a shock that when you first had the news about Harry and there was actually no support out there for parents?
I was really horrified, to be honest. I literally thought, I'm not going to be able to cope. To be told that the child that you've got is not the child that you expected. You don't know, to put it bluntly, whether he was going to be alive the next day when you woke up in the morning. To not be able to have anybody to talk to, a professional that can, help you make sense of all the very complex emotions and feelings you're facing, was a really scary prospect. And it really sort of made me feel even more isolated to be given, you don't think you're going to be that family. You don't think you're going to be the one that's got the child with the significant needs. That happens to other families. So to be that one, and your whole world pretty much changed when you're given that diagnosis, and then to have no support and to be left to get on with it, I think that's untenable. And and I hear from so many families, from hospices and schools, and they've said that the impact of that was massive, and a lot of them don't kind of get through it, and it takes them until very, very far down the line, when they do finally manage to get support to turn things around. But that support isn't forthcoming. At diagnosis, parents aren't supported. So that's where we're stepping in. So yeah, if anyone wants to find out more, then please have a look on our website.
Yeah, and Andrew, to go back to the climb, I want to end it on a good note. So I'll start with the thing you're least looking forward to before asking you what the most thing you're looking forward to. Is there anything you're potentially a bit like ooh about?
I think the toilet situation. I think that's or actually not so much me, but actually seeing other people.
Yeah. Like you said, you're going to get to know them quite well.
Yeah. But no, I think the actual that sort of sleeping arrangement, sleeping basically on I've bought this air mattress which self-inflates. It's so small, but it's about half an inch thick.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm going to be sleeping on the floor on a mountain, tired, cold, and then thinking all I want to do is get off this mountain, but thinking I'm going to have to carry on. That's going to be, but it's going to be the mental strength that I think is going to be what's going to get us all through this. Yeah. And I think the team around us, we're all going to be. I'm very good at if I see someone feeling down to pick them up and but I know I'll be in that position myself. So hopefully I'll feel that arm around me when I need it, and then we'll get to the top.
100% sure there will be someone. There's enough good characters going up there that will be. We'll help each other out.
Yeah.
And the thing you're most looking forward to?
I think standing on the top. I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. I've been quite fortunate. Basically everyone that has sponsored me, I've told them if it's a corporate sponsorship that I will put their logo on a Harry's Pals and Kelly's Heroes flag. This flag is looking absolutely amazing with all the corporate sponsorships on it. But being stood at the top holding that flag, it will be one of the proudest moments of my life. It really will. Yeah.
Nice.
There's a few gaps in the flag still, isn't there?
There's a few gaps, so please, please
get those gaps.
Yeah. So any companies that want to sponsor me, please feel free, and then I will contact you, get your logos, and then we'll get these added to this flag. It would be great to see your company's name up on this flag.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, and appreciate your answers. We're going to move on to a bit of a quick fire question round now, where we just ask you they're nothing too heavy. If you've seen our previous episodes, they're very random questions, just to get to know our guests a bit better. So anyone can answer. If you both want to answer, feel free. But if someone we'll do what's the first gig you ever attended? So there might be a couple of dodgy ones. So if you don't want to answer, you just keep quiet.
Yeah. No, mine. I think I was 13, and my mom took me to see Whitney Houston because she had a spare ticket, so I ended up going to that. Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Oh God. Probably Boyzone with a friend. Got dragged along.
Yeah.
First gig I really enjoyed was a Blur one though.
Yeah.
Do you prefer talking over email or by phone?
I prefer phone, but email is so quick and to the point, and it also focuses people's attention. Me, I prefer the personal touch, but I think emails are very relevant. Yeah.
Hey, same for you, or?
I think email's more accessible, isn't it? You can just fire off an email, but it is more accessible. But I do prefer to talk to people.
Yeah,
when I can.
Where's your favourite place to visit?
I'd say Bruges.
Okay,
I love this. Love the city.
Yeah, Bruges is right up there for me as well. Yeah.
Oh God, do you know what? I wouldn't know, to be honest. Anywhere that involves no kids, I think. But I absolutely love Bruges as well. So any big cities, York. But further afield, maybe. I don't know. Greece is absolutely beautiful. We need to do more of travelling, don't we?
Yeah. And if there was a film made about you both, I've asked this question before, so I'll rephrase it into who would you like to play you, and who do you think would play you?
I would say I would like Brad Pitt to play me, but and who would play me? Probably. I'm trying to think. Danny DeVito.
That's brilliant. I really don't know, to be honest. Or probably, I'd love for. I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone. I don't know, to be honest. That's really put me on the spot. Don't know. I'm not sure about that question.
Yeah, come back to it.
Yeah.
And what's your favourite thing to do outside of the day job of obviously charity work and in glazing industry?
I love spending time with my family. It's just I love coming home, seeing the kids, embracing them, and hearing what they've been up to.
Yeah,
that really is my my happy place. Yeah.
And mine would be live music. I like to go and see comedians and nights out with friends and traveling as well. I like little city breaks and all of those things.
And the last one, I get asked to ask it all the time, but what's your go-to karaoke song? Not everyone likes to go on a karaoke, but if you're pushed up there, what would be your go-to songs?
It would be "Common People" by Pulp.
Nice.
For me. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm probably quite cliche. I'd probably go for "Glory Again" or "I Will Survive" or something like that.
Not the first person who said that. It's there's a few people that like that one.
Proper belter, that you can really sort of get behind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you very much for that. As a sort of the last part before we end the podcast, we like to let our guests do a shout out. You can do it jointly or separately, but shout out to anyone you'd like to do. So if there's anyone who wants to go first.
I'll go first. I'd like to say a big hello to everyone at Commeling. That's both in the UK and globally, and also a big shout out to all the rest of the team doing Kilimanjaro, and also a big shout out to all those companies that have actually sponsored me for this challenge. It's so much appreciated.
I think I'd like to do a big shout out to all of the nurses and carers at Zoe's Place Hospice in Coventry. They're an absolutely amazing charity, really, and they support lots of families, and they did support us and Harry as well. Aside from that, I'd like to shout out to Dan Renton Skinner, who is our patron, and he is going to be doing the Yorkshire Three Peaks Challenge with Andy. He's raised a lot of money for Harry's Pals, and anyone that we're very fortunate to know and have in our lives.
Nice. Well, thanks very much to both of you for joining us today. Yeah, it's been really interesting to hear, obviously, about your career in glazing, Andrew, and what Harry, the amazing stuff that Hayley you're doing and Harry's Pals are doing for the on the charity side. So, yeah, thanks everyone for joining us today, and I hope you can join us for another episode soon. Goodbye.